Hey everybody in the back, what's up y'all?
Come on, Sandbox.
See, there you go. All right. That's what I'm talking about. What's up everybody? This is Christian Sands and welcome to another episode of Welcome to the Sands Box. We are here live in Monterey at the 65th Monterey Jazz Festival, and I am here with this amazing artist. We're working together, a part of the Monterey Jazz Festival on tour, an amazing group with Kurt Elling, Dee Dee Bridgewater, my trio, Yasushi Nakamura, Clarence Penn, and I'm so excited to have her on the show. Please welcome Lakecia Benjamin. Yeah. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Is this your first time at Monterey?
This is my second time in Monterey.
Second time, right. So we were kind of talking about this before. You were here when?
I'm not sure what year it was. I would imagine, I want to say between 2015 and 18.
Yeah.
And I was playing with Gregory Porter. So that was my first experience.
Oh,
with
dig
Monterey
that.
Jazz.
Okay.
Whatever year that Wayne Shorter did that huge symphony.
Oh, yeah.
I was like backstage watching that with Quincy Jones because of Monterey.
Can we talk about that real quick? Okay,
Yeah,
so
totally.
so let's just paint that picture real quick, because that's so heavy right now. Okay, so you're here with Gregory Porter already, amazing, right? So you're also watching Wayne Shorter perform backstage, watching Wayne, first of all, as a saxophonist. Just tell me about that experience.
I mean, the whole situation was pretty awesome for me. I mean, I got off stage with Gregory, said hi to the normal backstage hang people, and I noticed Quincy Jones sitting in a chair by himself, like kind of facing the wall. I said, maybe he doesn't want to be disturbed.
Right.
I said, but I'm pretty stylish.
But you're gonna disturb him anyway?
I'll just stand very near.
Yeah.
So I kind of slipped next to him, and he looked up like, who is this next to me? And he said, oh, nice glasses. I said, oh, thank you. So he started having a conversation with me. So I said, okay, I'm gonna ride this wave.
Yeah, right.
Next thing you know, Wayne comes on, starts playing. And I said, you here to see Wayne? He said, of course, I want to see what he's writing. So we can, how they have that little hole on the stage?
Yeah,
we can see through. So I'm seeing Wayne and having the commentary of what's happening with Wayne with Quincy Jones.
Wow. Wow, okay.
And I sat there with him the whole set, and maybe 30 minutes after, still talking. So that was my first Monterey Jazz experience.
Okay, so this interview is over.
Yeah.
Now, what? That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Oh my God. And so did you and him talk about, like, what y'all talk about? Like just Wayne's writing, his playing, like?
Before that Wayne started, we were talking about astrology. I'm a Libra, we were talking about that, and he was giving me the science of, it felt more like the science of women than the science of Libras. But okay. I was just kind of interested in where his thought process was going. Then he asked me, what did I do? I said, I'm a saxophonist, so he wanted to know more about that. Yeah. I gave him a card and stuff. Then Wayne came on, and then we just started talking about the different dynamics and stuff he had going on. I thought it really kind of sounded genreless for someone to be such a jazz classic. It sounded like you could throw a hip-hop beat on that. You could throw an orchestra on that. For sure. And he was commenting, since I feel we do share that genreless thing of how advanced the writing was.
Yeah. That's beautiful. So speaking of genreless, I know that you're from New York, and New York in itself is kind of its own genre. And every time I hear you, you have that sound. Can you talk about growing up in the Heights, in Washington Heights in New York, and what that was like being a musician?
Yeah, I feel like because New York is sort of this melting pot where everyone comes from all over the world to kind of express themselves, each neighborhood, you kind of get thrown into a different style of music. Right. So since I'm from the Heights, that's predominantly Dominican. Right. So my upbringing was, I guess, more merengue and salsa. Right. That's how I started. That was the first thing. I had never heard of jazz. I had never heard of soul. But I also grew up in a household. I grew up in a brownstone.
Okay,
so I had my grandma playing like Mahalia Jackson, playing Shirley Caesar. I had my mom playing Biggie Smalls, playing the classics. I had my aunt playing Jackie Wilson. So it was a lot of different cultures going on. But, I was kind of thrown into all of it.
That's very much like me, because when I was growing up, my mother was playing a lot of Charlie Pride, a lot of Ray Charles, and in classical music, Mozart, Beethoven. My dad was playing Grover Washington. He was playing Miles. He was playing John Coltrane. And then going outside, I had a friend down the street, and she was playing Celia Cruz. She was playing all this other stuff. So I resonate with that, because it's such an amazing thing to have all these different sounds that influence you. Yeah. And so when I hear you, like, you're so rhythmic. And so I was wondering, because I know the Heights, the Dominican area that you were in, like, did you play merengue when you were growing up? Or?
Yeah, that's how I started. My first gig.
I could tell. I was like, there's a sound.
Yeah, my first gig was a band called La Banda Gorda. So that's technically the fat band, but they were like huge in merengue. So in that time period, it would have been like I was playing with Dominican Sting.
Woo!
Like, so all the shows are packed out. We paid for the console, but that's what got me into the sax. Like, nonstop, you're hearing those jaleos.
Right. Yeah.
So every instrumentalist has to be a percussionist.
Absolutely.
You got to pick up something. You got to play something. So I think I learned early on how to keep a party moving.
Absolutely.
And I thought it was the rhythm.
That's deep.
You know, first, the harmony, of course, but the rhythm can really decide how to drive a band.
That's deep because you do that so well. And I noticed that when you play, and I've watched some of your shows, I mean, because, you know, over the years, we've been on the same circuits, you know, and so every time I do see you, like, you're a beautiful master of ceremonies, and, like, the party just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. So that's super killer that, like, that comes from playing in that band. Now, did you play in any other bands?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of doing it, like, you know how the jazz circuit, you move around?
Yeah.
I was like 12-year-old moving around these different merengue situations, and like, they were, you know, they just called me the little morena.
Oh, killer.
And I was like, you know, just playing these gigs and, you know, just trying to learn. I had books and classical, and I was like super focused. It wasn't until I got to high school that, you know, I heard of Duke Ellington.
Right.
The director of that program was actually Bob Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, he auditioned me into the program, and he was like, you know, I like what you're doing.
Yeah.
But you kind of came in here playing the merengue, you know, Yardbird Suite.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, he's like, do you know how to swing a little bit? He was describing it to me, and I was like,
dang.
no, I know how to read, but if you give me the music, I'm interested in checking it out. So he gave me like 5 CDs, 5 artists to check out. He said, check out Duke Ellington, John Coltrane, Charles Mingus, Bird. And I think I just picked an ad-lib one, and at the time, Songbook was the joint.
Oh, yeah,
So I picked that, my mom picked that up for me, and I went to work, and I was like,
wow.
I shifted my focus, like, whoa. There's so much more expression a little bit over here. Like, merengue, you can only express through a certain way. I started asking questions about, like, improvisation, like, so is it possible for me to get off of this rhythm?
Right.
And harmonically, like, open up as well, so. It was a huge time for me.
Yeah. Now, was there a moment just for you where the merengue that you've been doing, and now you got the swing that's happening, was there a moment where it was just awkward and it was like, this is, like, did you try to solo?
Like
merengue style, or like try to do like bebop lines in the merengue? Like, did you mix it?
It was awkward because I wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of growing. And like a hip thing about LaGuardia High School with Bob, he was in all those groups, and he had his rehearsals at the school. So Nicholas Payton's group was coming in. Greg Osby's group was coming in. Steve Coleman, Sam Rivers' big band.
Right.
Henry Threadgill's band. Mulhall was rehearsing with us. So Lincoln Center's across the street. So we were required to go to these rehearsals. So I guess I got hit with jazz and I guess the more avant-garde stuff at the same time.
Right.
So I kind of was, you know, raised up by people that said, you know, any note matters.
Right.
So that's an awkward moment.
Right. Yeah.
When you don't have context.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
You're playing avant-garde merengue.
Right. You know, because I was going to ask you about that, because being an alum from LaGuardia High School, like, I mean, like, I had to actually get it on my iPad here because there's so many cats. Nat Adderley. I'm just reading real quick. Nat Adderley, Walter Bland. I mean, this is just on the top. George Cables, who's my cousin, by the way. I found that out a couple years ago. Bill Charlap, Eddie Daniels, I mean, Marcus Miller, Marcus Gilmore, Eric McPherson. I mean, the list goes on.
I went to school with Marcus Gilmore.
Did you? I was going to ask you, who did you go to school with? Because that's killer.
Yeah, it was cool. Because, like, you know, we all knew he was coming. They're like, oh, yeah, Roy Haynes' grandson's coming. We're like, ho. We're going to be good.
Yeah. Now, how was, like, when he came to school, like, how was the, like,
was Gilmore or Haynes?
Yeah. Well, did Haynes come to school?
No, but I'm friends with Marcus, so I was always going by to Queens.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was totally cool. I mean, it had a celebrity status, I guess, within the school, but I was a little naive in terms of knowing who was who. So I'm just treating everybody like normal people. Like I was going up to, you know, Joshua Redmond like he was a normal guy, not knowing it's a superstar. I'm like, hey man, what kind of mouthpiece is that? And he's like, who's this little girl? I'm like, hey.
You know, it's me.
I think I got the same one. He's like, this is a 10. I'm like, oh. Okay, so it was cool just to have that. You know, he would keep posters all over the wall, and after summer vacation, come back and, you know, show you I'm playing Oslo Jazz Festival, I'm playing North Sea. So it gave us an idea that there was a world outside of our little neighborhood.
Absolutely.
So I could see that he's traveling. He would tell us little tricks. You know, when you do get a gig, these are the kind of things you want to take with you. This kind of stuff you want to eat. So it let me know that outside of Washington Heights, there's a whole world.
That's beautiful.
And I'm trying to get there.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It was pretty interesting to just acknowledge that, like, 14, 15, like, oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah, that's killer. So I know you also spent some time with Clark Terry. Oh, yeah. And we have a mutual thing because Clark was actually the reason that I started playing.
Whoa.
Yeah, I saw him when I was a kid in New Haven, and he was playing with Frank West.
Oh, okay.
And I believe Renee Rosnes was also playing in that band, I think, at the time. And after the show, the next day they did a master class, and so I got a chance to play with Clark and Frank. And that was kind of like the first time I ever saw and heard the music, and I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And so for you, when did you meet Clark, and then what was that like, and how did that blossom into that friendship you had?
Well, I knew of Clark because I had that Oscar Peterson +1.
Yes,
yeah. So I was learning his solos off that. That was my thing. I didn't know, like, oh, that's not an alto. I was like, I'm learning that.
Right.
That's swinging, that's what I'm learning.
Right.
So I had got that, and then, I don't know, out of the blue, I got a call from Clark Terry. Oh, this is Clark Terry. And I was like,
I love this Clark Terry impression,
I said, this is my friend playing games. So I slammed the phone down. It was before the cell. I was like, click. Call back. Is this Lakecia Benjamin? I said, yeah. He said, don't hang up on me again. I said, okay, who is this? He said, this is Clark Terry. I said, the Clark Terry? And he did like a little bit of the mumbles.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. And I'm trying to clear it up. And he told me he was starting a young band. And he wanted to get a lot of next generation people in.
Yeah.
And
the young
first,
Titans.
Yeah. He said the first band gonna be a big band, and he needed an alto player. Yeah. He was recommended to me, and can I do it? And I said, okay, so yeah, I can do it. He said, no. You know where New Jersey is? I said, yeah, I know. He said, you need to come to New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Tonight and audition. Oh. I said, but how am I gonna get to Jersey, sir? He said, that's not my problem.
Woo.
So he gave me an address, and I'm out here calling every Dominican gypsy cab in the world, trying to figure out how to get enough money to get there.
Right.
I get there, knock on the door. Gwen opens it. She's like, oh, he's down in the basement. Go to the basement. I said, oh, I can't go to the basement, man. My mom said don't go to the basement.
Right.
And she's like, you got to go to the basement. I said, oh, no.
It's like, I can't do that.
I like sneak down there and kind of look, and I see him in the chair. He's like, it's okay. And I said, all right, take a gamble.
Right.
He had a piece of music on the paper.
Yeah.
He said, pull out your horn. I pulled it out. He said, I want you to play this. I said, you serious? That's it? He said, yeah, just play this. And I said, okay, well, you gonna count off? And it was the most animated, 1, 2, 1. And I was like, damn. So I came in playing it. I mean, like 2 bars later, he said, that's it. I heard enough, you're hired.
Oh,
it was called Étoile, y'all.
Oh,
It was like a D-flat blues.
Okay, yeah.
And I guess I started it off. He was like, that's it. And we spent the rest of the night just jamming. Like, he played bass line, I solo over it. I played bass like on tunes for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's killing.
Talked a little bit. He said, how old are you? I said, I don't know how to get home. He said, okay, I'm going to find a way for you to get home.
Right.
And I went back over to my grandma's house.
Wow.
She, gave me a hard time. Where you been? I said,
I'm Clark Terry.
I've been at Clark Terry's house. She kind of still let me have it. She don't know who that is.
Of course.
And then our first gig was at Marion's Jazz Room.
Yeah.
So that was my first
Wow.
Clark Terry thing. And Gilmore was playing drums.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I was like, yeah.
Gilmore, Derek Hodge, and Helen Sung. They had like a couple vets in there. So Helen, Conrad, Herwig, and I think Frankie, I don't know his last name, the lead trumpet player, Frank Green.
Yeah.
Him and Brad Lely. Those were like our vets.
Wow.
To get us through, I guess.
That's a killing band. What?
Yeah, but the sections itself were like, we had Stafford, we had Dion, we had the Cats.
Oh, snap. Okay.
There's like a bootleg album out there too, like on Amazon.
Okay, what's it called?
I don't know, Terry's Titans of Jazz.
Terry's Titans. All right, everybody, get that album. We're gonna find it.
Yeah, it's
now I want to hear this.
I saw it. It's like on iTunes Music. I saw it.
Oh, that's killing. That's definitely happening.
Yeah. I got 3 solos.
That's killing. All right. So, and I know you also spent some time not only with Clark Terry, but also Reggie Workman too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So can we talk about Reggie?
Reggie came in my new school days, so a little further on. I got to new school. I was at Rutgers University actually first for history. Yeah. And I wasn't vibing well. I didn't like the college campus. I didn't like the fraternities. So I tried to transfer in the spring to new school because that was the only school that took transfers. Yeah. I walk in for my audition. It's Reggie sitting there, Billy Harper, Joe Chambers, and Joanne Brad King. So I actually opened the door and looked, and I closed it back. And Reggie came out and was like, what are you doing? I was like, hey, man, you're going to scare the hell out of people if you keep this up.
Yeah, right,
I said,
right.
This the panel? He said, yeah. I said, listen, man, I know what's in there. He was like, don't be scared, you know, just come in there. What do you got prepared? I said, I listened to my song. He said, play the blues first. And that's how it started. You know, he was real instrumental. And a lot of my time at the New School with the university was spent like, I wouldn't say they had the most belief in me, that I would like, you know, mature well, but he kept me in the game. He kept me there. He gave me a little job helping organize his folders, and we were shed at his house. He's the one that told Rashid Ali about me. So I went to audition with Rashid, you know, so it was him that really moved a lot of things for me and kept me believing that I could advance.
So that's crazy. So it went from that, right? From, again, you growing up in New York, you going through this amazing training and just immersed in this music. And so then it led you to, I know you talked about earlier about you booking horns for a couple different people. I know you mentioned Kool and the Gang. Like, so how did you get from, like, say, hanging with Reggie Workman, him teaching you the ropes, like you really just being a student of that, to fast forward to you booking for Kool and the Gang?
College. College, I experienced, I mean, I was from a poor community anyway, so that's what we were. But college let me know there's levels to broke. And I had $0 every day. So I was constantly walking the village trying to figure out, I would take out my horn and play in the street sometimes. Cats go to $20 and I'm like, I'm done.
I'm gonna take
far. And then one night I was walking through West 4th. Look to see who was playing at the Blue Note, and across the street they have this place called the Village Underground. And a guy was yelling across the street, "Hey, girl with the sax, girl with the sax!" And I was like, "Damn," thinking that this was maybe a romantic event. Right. Finally, he came over, gave me his card. He was like, "I need a sax player, horn section for tomorrow," and I was just like, "Yeah, brother." He's like, "Yeah, come to this address. You know, we're gonna be playing with Missy Elliott." I was like, "Yeah, all right, brother." So I went back home and then the next day I looked at the card and I was like, I don't have nothing to lose. I took 2 of my friends on trombone and trumpet. I said, we're going to see about this Missy Elliott thing. Went down there. It was her cousin, Cortez, and he needed a band. So I said, it's not Missy, but let's just see. We did the joint. We did the gig. Terrence Howard is there. Gabrielle Union's there. Snoop Dogg is there. So it's like celebrities, and they just want us to kind of play and like move around. But Missy came to the show. And after it, she asked, hey, you know, this your band? I said, yeah, it's my group.
Claim it.
It's my group. It's my group. And she said, yeah, could bring them by my house the next day. And I started noticing, like, this skill set of, it just, you know, I don't want to say diminish it, but it just, bam, bam. Like, really simple things. And the key was they wanted you to move around well. And I felt like that was already a part of me. So I was like, all right, I'm going to start choreographing these steps. I was like, we're going to be hot when we're doing this. And I guess some people seeing me with her and hearing about it, like the hip hop community was making, like, I feel like a comeback with live bands, and especially horns and stuff dancing around. So I went from her, I went to Alicia Keys, I was in Lil Wayne's thing for a while. So I kept just moving around in different hip hop groups, and Kool and the Gang heard about it. And while with the newer people, I said I was having a hard time chasing that money down. I got it, but I was chasing it. I started realizing when I got with the older R&B legends, they had a respect for the music just like the jazz people. So I didn't have to chase my money with Kool and the Gang. I had to chase my money with Nita Baker. I had to chase my money with Regina Bell. So I just kind of, you know, let that fall by the wayside. I said, let me move to these people, and you know, that's when the Stevie Wonders and all that stuff started happening. And I felt more at home there because harmonically they were related, they knew jazz. And they also had and they had a system, like I don't know if like A$AP Rocky has a person in charge of paying the horns. If he's even thinking about that, you're just a glittering gold. But I'm pretty sure that Kool and the Gang, I have a guy waiting there. And they know. So I felt like I just wanted to be in a place where my talent was more respected.
Absolutely. That's killer.
In a safer environment, we could say too.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
The Wu-Tang Clan backstage is crazy.
Right. Oh, that's crazy. So, man, that's so incredible. So first of all, I'm really excited now because some of this stuff I knew, some of this stuff I didn't know. So I'm really now excited because we're making music together with the Monterey Jazz Festival on tour. Can you talk about just how excited you are, what we're expecting? I know we're playing tonight. So like, what can the audience expect? What can people expect for the tour that's going to come around, you know?
To me,
for you.
the show is entrenched, I guess, in the tradition and the language of the music, but it's also got a modern take on it, and it's got a way to really embrace the people. I feel like each one of us as artists care about our audiences.
Absolutely.
We care about pleasing them, we care about entertainment, but we also care about the music. So I feel that people can come to expect a good time, you know, to feel something, to make an emotional connection, and also just feel like, wow, I had a great night out, you know?
Your latest project, Pursuance, Coltrane's, let's talk about that because you're tackling not only John, because usually people is either John or Alice, but you do them both. Yeah. So let's talk about what made you do that, what inspired you, how was it to be an artist to tackle this information in this project?
It started actually when we spoke about Reggie Workman. He was like kind of somewhat the catalyst. Yeah. I knew I was going to do a new project, and I knew I had the Coltrane's in mind. Yeah. So I called him up. I said, you know, I want to meet with you and talk to you because I felt that he played in both of their bands.
Absolutely.
So he could tell me, first, if I'm playing the right changes, what kind of chords going on. But he also knew, like, what did John Coltrane smell like? Yeah. What did Alice Coltrane like to eat? Yeah. What did they talk about? Yeah. And I said, you can't get that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Why did they write this song? What did they tell you? Right. So I went by the New School to talk to him about it, and I was like, I'm gonna shoot my shot to see if he'll you know, agree to produce. Yeah. And before I could say anything, he said he had just won the NEA Jazz Masters Award. And I said, oh wow, yeah. And then at the end of that, he said, in 82, when you get 82, you can win it too. And I said, damn. So it was great for him, but it was a little deflating. And it made me change, I guess, the way I was going to do it. Yeah. Originally, I was going to celebrate John and Alice Coltrane, make these tunes, hit it. Yeah. But when he told me that, I said, man, I wonder how many people know who Reggie Workman is if they're under 50. So, and I said, and I just looked at how many people have played with John and Alice Coltrane, and they're still alive. Yeah. And they're legends, and I believe in the passing down of the music. Absolutely. So that's when I got to the Ron Carters, the Gary Bartons, and everything. I said, I'm going to load this album up. Right. Like if
there's a ton of people on this album.
I felt that if it could get some recognition, absolutely, not just to my name, people would be forced to listen to who's Dee Dee Bridgewater, absolutely, who's Jasmine Horn, like absolutely, you know. So I put it in categories. I said like these are the greats, these are the jazz lions when we were coming up, and then here are the people in my generation. And I just wanted to pick. If you were in my generation, somebody you had to be innovative, you know, entrenched in tradition, but actively out there working on it, like out on these streets. Absolutely. Trying to get the music out there and trying to kind of like evangelistic stuff. Yeah. That's how I got into it. It's really when he told me that it took him 82 years. Wow. To get an award.
So you're like, let's move this around.
I said, yo, let's just see if it helps. You
Absolutely.
know?
Absolutely.
If it doesn't help, I got a killing project. Right. And I've lived the dream.
And it's a killing project too. Like it's one of my favorite records. So I've been spinning it like this entire year. And I love it. And I remember you were kind of working on, I believe you were working on this at some of the concerts that I've seen you do throughout the years. And I was like, I think she's going, maybe she's going for it, maybe she's not going for it. So I'm so glad it came out and like it sounds amazing. And I'm really looking forward to playing some of that music on tour. Oh, it's going to be great. Last thing I want to talk to you about is style, right? Because every time I see you, every poster I see of you, you always look dope. Right? It's always something, you always got something really cool on. I remember I saw, I think it's this year, the Lincoln Center, Jazz at Lincoln Center poster, and you got this like silver jacket on. I don't know if it's this year.
Oh yeah, it's
with the teal, like, you know, and it's like, so let's talk about that. And because a lot of people ask me about style and music and all that, but I want to talk to you because I recognize that and I see it because every time, like right now, you got these really cool pants on, like you always got something to do. Do you have a stylist? Do you do it yourself, you know?
I have both. I mean, most of it is your inherent spirit. Like, you know, you have teachers you study with, but you're still Christian Sands. Right, absolutely. You know, so I got a natural style in me, but I also have, especially for photo shoots or something, I have sought people out. Yeah. Now I'm getting more where I can be by myself, but I definitely have a team and stuff that I work with. Yeah.
And you always have like cool, I mean, the earrings right now, you got these vinyl earrings, which is so dope. You know, I always think that for me, when people ask me about style and music and like how they go hand in hand, I always think of Ron Carter. I always think of, you know,
he wouldn't even let me take a picture next to him in a sweatsuit.
Yeah, right.
I did a show. I changed my clothes after. I said, "Can I get a picture?" He said, "Where's your clothes?" Right. I said, "I changed." He said, "Come back later." Right. I said, "Man." Right. But I just believe like the older generation, like Duke Ellington generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those brothers were clean. That Miles Davis generation, even through all of his periods, he had an outfit on. Yeah. And I feel like there's a little gap
Yeah.
Between that and I guess our generation decided it was cool with the jeans and sneakers.
Right.
And I do think the jeans and sneakers are cool.
It is. Yeah.
If they're dope.
Right. Right.
You know, so I just feel that people are like, you don't want to go on stage dressed like your audience.
Right.
You know, that's the thing.
Right.
Like, why are they paying to see you if you look like them? So
right.
I think of that thing, and I also just think of, I kind of think of all the arts connected. There's the music, but before you buy the album, you look at the album.
Absolutely.
But on stage, you're looking at something.
Absolutely.
So I just feel like dance, visuals,
right.
all of that stuff goes together. So I just feel like it's much easier for somebody to get a vibe of who you are right when they see you.
Right.
And then you slowly keep increasing it.
Right.
Then they have to wait to hear you play.
Yeah.
And then try to decipher.
Yeah.
Especially on sax. That's a mutable instrument. Like as a singer, we all have voices. They naturally connect right away.
Right.
With the sax, you're kind of in Chinese for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Until you start speaking to them. So I just feel like I try to take away the barriers between me and the audience to show like my personality is part of who I am. It's why I play. Yeah. And you can only play who you are.
Right.
So I just want to make it easier for people. Yeah. And I don't want to be looking bummy.
right. Straight up.
I don't want to be out here looking sad.
Last question, official question I have for you. Just a general question about music. Just what does music mean to you?
I mean, music means freedom to me.
Yeah.
It's the freedom to express yourself. I mean, I spoke about this with somebody else. Like, there's a few people out there, but majority of people on the planet listen to music. Yeah. You don't meet somebody that say, oh, I don't do that music thing. I don't listen. Yeah. You know, whether you're working out, whether you're having a sad time, whether you're having a happy time, you want to party, the first thing you do is put on a track. You want to clean the house, there's a clean the house track. You want to like be in love, there's a love track. So I feel like that's the direct thing we all have in common of expression. So if you're an artist, you're kind of like really here for humanity. Right. It's like I guess people try to make it a rock star job, but it's a service job. Yeah. You're in service to the people to give them what they need. So I feel like music is that kind of thing and that kind of vibration, and it's a community thing. And we keep taking it out of there trying to, you know, get the fancy cars and stuff, and that's great because I believe in getting compensated for your time. But I really feel like we got to get back to the grassroots thing, of like, you know, sitting by the fire singing to somebody and soothing like the people there, full moon. You know, people drumming in the community, people communicating with drums across. So that's what it means to me. The fact that I'm an artist, I have the freedom to express these things, and hopefully people can be changed by it. Yeah. Lakecia Benjamin, everybody. This is dope. Brother, man. Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you, guys.